Hi folks, Puffin here. I just watched a couple videos, one from Kegley, or I skimmed through some from Kegley and skimmed through another one from Genetically Modified Skeptic on YouTube. They were just suggested to me. This is my first time interacting with either of these characters, so I'm not really going to say much about their channels or their perspectives, other than they did have a video on the Gospel of Thomas for Kegley, and a video on the Gospel of Judas for Genetically Modified Skeptic. I suppose that's why they were recommended to me. I wrote a book, the Book of Judas, on the Gospel of Judas. So I was trying to leave a comment, some insight. Comments don't seem to be appearing. That's not just the case on their channels, but on many channels right now, my comments are being censored, deleted, or just not able to appear. So, benefit to you is that I make this video instead, to leave my comments here. The first thing, not just to repeat my comments, but to give you the gist of my impression. Because each of these guys have maybe 500,000 followers. Each of these videos had over 1 million views. And as you can see, I have 1 view, 2 views, 10 views, maybe 100 or so, 1,000 for some of them, a few thousand for some of my videos. But these guys' views are the views that are being exposed to 1 million people. That 1 million people, if they know anything about the Gospel of Thomas or Gospel of Judas, know this version before they know another version or know anything else. And I just want to make the point that you don't know what you don't know, and you can't conceive what you're not ready to conceive. Now, this applies to Kegley, for instance, because he says something like he says the Gospel of Thomas is the most important discovery or something in the last 100 years, or something in the beginning of his. I didn't watch much of the video. I saw that his first comment was admitting that I made a mistake. I said it was in the Dead Sea Scrolls, and it's not in the Dead Sea Scrolls. He's not really studied of this stuff, but using it to promote whatever he's talking about, law of attraction kind of stuff. In studying for writing the Book of Judas, I learned quite a bit. Especially the Gospel of Judas itself, studying the Gospel of Judas, but also studying other things about it to write the book. I'd read the Gospel of Thomas when I was young, and I had nothing against the Gospel of Thomas. Please read the Gospel of Thomas. He's right that it's very important. But when I say you don't know what you don't know, he's just wrong to say it's the most important thing to come out in 100 years, because his video just came out, a year or two ago, but the Gospel of Judas was revealed to humanity in 2006. So he just doesn't know that it exists. I'm not faulting him. Most people don't know that it exists. So my book is all about it from a perspective of someone who knew it exists since they first released it and then had a revelation about it earlier this year. Compare that to watching Genetically Modified Skeptic. I just wanted to check and see, well, maybe Kegley has a Gospel of Judas video and, I didn't happen to see it. Doesn't seem to. He seems to just not know about the Gospel of Judas, which is fine. Nothing against him. Just with as much influence as you have and you don't know about that, then it means that all those people that you've influenced aren't going to be clued into that. And as soon as they can be, the better. So maybe you'll know about it soon or have something to say about it soon, or maybe even respond to this in some way. But the other channel, and again, I just skimmed through his video, but I got the gist of where he was coming from and where he's going with it. Genetically Modified Skeptic is not, as an atheist, he says at the end. So he's not looking for an answer that transforms Christianity and the world. I was, and found it in the Gospel of Judas. It's explained, somewhat in my book, The Art of Betrayal by God. I have a little bit in the introduction. See if I run into that. But it took me 15 years to realize for this key to slide into place in my head. I realized the key was militarism. Judas never wanted a military or revolutionary solution. Scholars who know more about Judas' background and character surely have reasons for suggesting Judas would seek that path. And historically, a century later, there was a revolt by Jewish people against the Roman government. So obviously, many people have been cultivating that mindset. It would make sense for Judas to be one of them and betray Jesus accordingly. What doesn't make sense is why Jesus would let him do it. I can hear the argument because Jesus knew all these things had to happen, but it still seems cold of Jesus to let Judas carry out this plan the way we understand it. However, if we know that Jesus told Judas to do this, that it was all part of a secret plan, it changes everything. And it changes everything not only about Judas and Jesus, but changes everything about how we understand the years, 20 centuries since then. This is how the key clicked for me. If Judas did not want to start a political revolt, all he was doing was what Jesus asked him to do, including having his name cursed for all this time. He made that sacrifice of his own self for his love for Jesus. And we got it wrong and said he was military-minded. 300 years after Jesus, a type of Christianity became a state religion of Rome after Constantine's vision of a cross. Ever since, most of the military-dominant cultures have been associated with some form of Christianity. While we blame Judas for being military-minded, this is a projection that covers our own cultural transgressions. Judas was not putting faith in militaries. We are. The exact principle by which we so universally condemn Judas does not apply to him one speck, but rolls over all of us and paves us flat like the biggest cartoon log you ever saw. We say Judas was wrong to put his faith in a military solution, and meanwhile do exactly that to the tune of centuries and billions of dollars in gold doubloons and every other currency more wasted than the ones that sunk on warships to the bottom of the sea. And all the lives. We have been blaming Judas for something he is innocent of, and we are entirely guilty. And while it was like Jesus was playing a trick on us to say, hey, if you can get this key part wrong for 2,000 years, imagine what else you might be wrong about. It triggers introspection and renewal and transformation that should always be the course of those who follow Jesus. So this is from The Art of Betrayal by God, the prequel to the the Book of Judas. I wrote the Book of Judas based on the Gospel of Judas. And as far as I know, there's not much common knowledge about that. Like I said, this could be one of the more popular videos with 2 million views about the Gospel of Judas, and the guy didn't have much takeaway from it. Yeah, Judas gets appointed. This is pretty clear, and I don't know how you missed it, because you seem like a smart guy, genetically modified skeptic. Judas gets the appointment to be the 13th ruler to replace the evil rulers. It's the first rule of It's the first rule of humans in all time. Previously, it's been ruled by evil angels. So it's the reverse of what evangelicals believe, that the reign of Jesus, a divine reign, will come to replace the reign of humans that's flawed. Actually, humans are fine, or in our spirit, humans are fine. We'll be fine when we work together. And in the meantime, there are these evil powers at work that have worked through humans to put oppressive regimes on earth all this time, just as Jesus predicted. So Jesus had predicted this in a secret prophecy to Judas. That prophecy was destroyed. Jesus, as far as I can tell, Judas wrote it down that night, and then they were both killed the next day, murdered. Judas is more like the cashier who called the police on George Floyd. He's not guilty. The police are guilty. The system is guilty, and that's the point Jesus wanted us to have. And he knew we weren't going to have it, that there was going to be a opposition to that it would be hidden for thousands of years, and then finally revealed because Jesus knew some secrets. But he told us as a secret to Judas. He asked him to do it. This book, the Gospel of Judas, was entirely destroyed by the year 200 AD, except for one copy that we know of, unless they just found some more in the Cave of Horror. So please read my book, The Art of Betrayal by God. Please read the sequel, The Book of Judas, which is based on the Gospel of Judas, because that really goes into it. But I'd also like to make some more videos here, and hopefully you'll watch them here as well, and share them and comment, and we'll get a dialogue going between people so that they can know more and they can conceive more. Because that's what I meant about you can't conceive what you're not ready to conceive. If the genetically modified skeptic is just, I'm going to oppose God in this, but look for a way to say, look how confused these Christians are, yeah, you'll find it. But if you're looking for a secret solution that transforms all Christianity into a new religion that is on par with other religions to be part of a community of international faith, of global faith, you'll find that too. Because that's what Jesus was really telling Judas he would do at this end of time when he replaces the other churches with the Church of Judas, which you can also see my videos about. Thanks for watching. I'm Puffin. Nice to meet you. And Judas bless you. Jesus bless you. God has blessed you. I bless you. Bless yourself.